And today we're live. Nako, ako'y kinakabahan talaga. Bakit ba ako kinakabahan? At yung aking i-interviewin ay, dati po siya ay parati akong ini-interview. At tuwing i-interview naman po ako'y nilalamig dahil malamig na ako sa studio. But today ho ay meron tayong isang special bisita. On the mommy. Hindi ho ito on the money ha, on the mommy. All right. So again, Salve, thank you very much for at least giving me the chance, okay, with all your grabe, loaded na loaded yung work mo, ang dami mong interviews and all this. So, how is Salve now? Kamusta na?
We're very busy. Work hasn't stopped. In fact, parang lumala pa. Pero it's a happy kind of work kasi we're helping a lot of people. We're creating, we're starting the company already. We're just waiting for the incorporation papers to be finished. And then we'll finally be able to do our advocacy of transformation. So, sana tuloy-tuloy na to, Boots.
Yeah, oo. But alam mo, nakakatuwa kasi I'd like to share some of the things with you, and especially sino ba talaga si Salve? Talagang natutuwa ako. But before we go there, let me share with you some of the things I'd like to do. And this is something that I always say, a bird does not sing because it has an answer. It sings because it has a song. All right? And what is the story? The story is a bird is not just there to prove anything to anybody. It sings because it feels like expressing itself. The singing does not have an ulterior purpose. In a similar way, uh, express yourselves because you feel like expressing yourself totally. Work because you feel like working. And when you are working, immerse yourself completely in it while forgetting about the end goal. Anong lesson natin? The lesson is that when you are focused in the present and are not worried about the end result, what you create will be beautiful just like the beautiful song. All right. So, yan po ang storya na gusto kong i-share. So, Salve, kamusta ka na? Anong mga ginagawa ngayon ng ni Miss Salve Duplito on the money, and what else? Ano na ngayon?
We're still doing ANC. Alam ko na there have been news na we might not able to continue broadcasting, pero sabi mo nga, huwag nang isipin yung end. Gawin mo lang yung gusto mong gawin at kalalabasan yan maganda pa rin. So we're just trying to do our best every day to come up with shows that will help people get out of this crisis, this difficult and dark times, stronger and better.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, we're trying to start, as I said, a company called Transformation Inc., where Transformation OPC is something that hopefully will help transform a lot more lives and a lot more future. Ano pa ba? I'm trying to start my YouTube channel, so I hope
Yay!
I don't know if your followers would like to listen to that. Maybe by next week we'll have something to listen to.
Nako, ang dami agad niya. Magsushoot up agad ang mga viewers niyan. Sigurado yan.
Kung tutulungan ako ng followers mo, Boots, baka...
Ay, nako, more than that. More than that.
Dumami nga.
Nandyan sila Mon Abrea, nandyan lahat kami, susugod kami, kami ang mag-a-add. But tell me, Salve, I was looking at the picture you sent, no? And I was touched. Is this your mom?
Yes, that's my mom.
Oo. Ano ang naging influence ng mom mo when you were younger?
She was my everything. She was a single mother.
Mm-hmm.
My earliest memory was of her getting beaten up on my dad.
Oh, okay.
Yun yung earliest memory when I was 5. So growing up, I became very, very protective of her. She's very tiny, but she's a very big heart.
Mm-mm.
Even though she had a very difficult life from the start, because she was born poor. My dad was born rich, pero things happened along the way. And then I was, at, when my mom and dad separated, we started to live in poverty. As in, mahirap na poverty talaga to. Hindi joke na poverty na ano lang. Alam mo yun, yung poverty na ayaw mong i-post online kasi talagang masakit at mahirap siya. Anyway, so, I was very, very protective of my mom.
Mhm.
Kahit na maliit siya na tao, marami siyang pinutulungan. And she really wrapped her lives around raising me and my 4 older sisters. So yung influence niya sa akin may be the reason why I really love teaching. Although I'm not trained to be a teacher, I ended up being a teacher anyway through
Aha.
financial literacy. Maybe it's because she was a public school teacher. Nakita ko yun. Nakita ko yung dedication niya, hindi lang sa pagtuturo sa classroom, kundi sa pag-aasikaso sa bawat bata na inaalagaan niya. Kinikilala niya yung pamilya. Pag nakikita niya, kaya ito, Butch, nakakatawa kasi, although we were very, very poor, I felt rich only because my mom would one day bring home this little kid na payatot na pagdating sa bahay, tatanong ko, bakit siya nandito? Sabi niya, mahirap lang kasi sila kaya kailangan natin siyang tulungan. So, alam mo yun, parang ako as a little kid, parang mahirap sila, tulungan natin. Parang feeling ko tuloy kami nakakaangat. When in fact, hindi naman. Parang pareho lang naman yung sitwasyon namin. Pero dahil ganun yung pagtingin niya sa mundo, sobrang na-influence siya. My
So,
mom is a source of life and strength and hope
mhm.
because she never tires of laughing.
Yeah.
When you meet her, she
Mhm.
giggles all the time like a little girl. Kala mo hindi naghirap sa buhay.
But that is something else, no? I mean, para bang sa lahat ng nanay, diyan tayo kumukuha ng strength, no? That's where we draw where we are right now. Kasi things would not have mattered a lot kung wala tayong pinagkukunan eh. Like for example, the poverty beyond poverty. Um, I remembered, kaya nga I was touched, Salve, when I saw that picture, I recalled my mom, because my mom, being a public school teacher at that, and widowed at 7 months married, para bang, masakit, no? Masakit. And really, she left me at home, in the province. My grandparents took care of me. But everything is still a legacy that even nagkaroon siya ng dementia, para bang ganun pa rin talaga ang buhay. Para bang sinasabi mo na ang buhay pala ay talagang galing pa rin sa nanay. Okay? So, ngayon, I'm sure she was so proud. Nagkaroon ka ng mga medalya, nagkaroon ka ng na-awardan ka. Ano yung mga sukli na binigay mo naman sa kanya when you were studying, when you were young at that time? You grew up in Bicol, right?
Yes, I did. Doon ako nag-aral until high school. And then college, I went to UP Diliman.
Oh, the UP, the Fighting Maroons. No wonder. Okay. But ano-ano yung mga naging para bang kasi the other day I interviewed si Jeneline Dingalan, no, ng Konegosyo. At yung parating sinasabi na nga ng kanyang tatay ay suklian mo na lang yung hirap ng nanay mo. Ano-ano mga pagsusukli ang binigay mo kaya, Salve?
Ako
That
baka
you...
puro sama ng loob.
Hindi, okay lang.
Siguro, sana hindi naman.
Okay.
I was a difficult child.
Bakit?
Actually, alam mo, to be really honest, I was a difficult child. I had very high standards, and sometimes when I think about, wow, when I think about how I treated her when I was a teenager, nalulungkot ako, Boots, kasi
Mm-mm.
youngest ako, so they kind of spoiled me a bit.
Okay.
Kahit na mahirap, alam mo yan, pagka yung bunso, inaalagaan talaga yan. So, marami akong, I remember there were times na, kasi I wanted her to be this kind of person. Not, I wanted her to be some of my mom's friends na laging maganda, laging naka naka-manicure. And I don't know if you understand this,
Yeah.
but little girls are like that.
Mhm.
So, sometimes when she'd come home, tapos meron siyang dumi sa kamay dahil galing siya sa
Mm-mm.
garden, galing siya sa school, wala siyang time mag-ayos.
Yeah.
I was not very good. Now I think about it, parang brat. Pero every time I remember, I regret every moment of it because she doesn't deserve it.
Mhm.
In school, hindi ako mahilig mag-aral. Hindi ako yung, mahilig ako magbasa, pero ayoko mag-memorize.
Aha.
I'm not the studious type.
Mm.
But for some reason, I always get awards. I'm always in the top 10. I always speak out in class. Well,
Mm.
shy ako, pero pag kailangan magsalita, kaya ko naman magsalita. So I'm not in the top 1 or 2. I'm not valedictorian, salutatorian, because I never study.
kulang pa
Hindi
sa
ako
effort,
mag-aaral.
pero I'm sure pag
Hindi ako
nag-effort yan
mag-aaral.
pag nag-effort yan siguro valedictorian or
So,
valedictorian
my
or ano
teachers
talaga,
in
di
Bicol
ba?
University where I studied, it's one of
Oh,
the
the one in
biggest schools.
Daraga.
It's a state university.
Yeah, the one in Daraga. That is beside
Yeah.
our friend, the First
Yes.
Colonial. O, si Bong Aspe, no?
Anyway, this guy, so one of the best teachers, master teacher in that school, hindi called up, talked to my mom. Sabi niya, alam mo, yung anak mo, kung nag-aaral lang yan, valedictorian yan. So sabi ko sa nanay ko, but I want to love what I do. So I didn't study much, but I was always in the honor roll. I always have awards. I always win contests. I have magugulat ka, ano to? Yung speech, ano to? Extemporaneous speaking was my thing.
Oh. So you can talk
So
anytime given a topic,
that
di ba?
picture, yeah,
Oo. Ganon. What is this
yeah.
picture naman? Para bang nasaan ba dito si Salve? Sa picture na pinapakita ko. Hindi yung nakaupo sa...
Pahulaan mo nga sa mga followers mo
Sino
kung
kaya
ano to dyan.
dito? Kasi ibang...
This picture na
Oo.
kumalat to sa aming magkakaklase kasi pinagtatawanan nila ako kasi ang laki-laki daw ng upuan ko tapos yung paa ko hindi lumalapad sa lupa. Kasi nga, ang liit-liit ko. Ganyan. So, this talaga shows what it was like for me back in the day.
So hindi umaabot yung paa mo sa upuan? Paano yun?
Hindi talaga umaabot yung paa ko. Just like now. Kung makakausap mo sila Aiza, sila Direk Budi, lagi nila akong pinoproblema kasi pag nakaupo ako sa upuan sa studio, di ba? Hindi umaabot yung paa ko sa sahig.
Oo nga. Kaya pala yung camera parati wag angle sa paa, baka hindi makita,
Yes.
nagle-levitate. Oo, nagle-levitate si Salve. So, eto naman, ano itong picture na ito, Salve? Yan, mukhang...
That's me in UP. That's in my first year in college. Parang nakawala ka sa probinsya. So I was very insecure, very shy. I didn't know how to act because I wasn't with my mom. I was living on my own in the dormitory. So it's one of the pictures that I sent because it shows me at a crossroads in my life.
What was that crossroad?
It's like the crossroads was, will I still be the little girl that I was before? Or can I now put my best foot forward and grab the world by my two small arms
Mm-hmm.
and, make of my life what I can of it.
So, wow.
So, ano siya?
Hindi ba mahirap yung transformation from the province to the city? Was it really a tough one?
Yes, from the simple things like riding a bus. So my sister was living in Makati. Tapos in the dormitory in UP. And every weekend, I would go to her place to, connect with one of the members of your family. But riding the bus was very difficult because I was short. And I didn't have enough money for the aircon buses, lalo na pag wala pang allowance. And so can you imagine me, short, tiny little girl, papasok sa ordinary bus with a huge bag of dirty clothes.
Oh my gosh.
Tapos puno-puno bus yung bus. So,
Oh.
hindi ako makahawak sa gilid. Kailangan ko humawak sa taas, yung bar dun sa pinakataas. And every time the bus would break, I'd like swing like a monkey because I couldn't reach the floor. So, things like that sort of to me epitomize the difficulty of living on your own, being independent, but surviving,
Mhm.
being tough because nobody else will do this for you. My mom, my sisters won't be there for me, so I had to learn how to ride the bus by myself.
So parati ka naglalambitin sa handrail siguro. Yung ba yung nangyayari doon?
Yes. Isa yan
Oo.
sa mga naalala kong adjustment ng pagiging Manileño.
So pero meron ka naman discount siguro dahil child discount na lumalabas siguro doon.
Walang ganyan.
Wala ba yun? So anyway, let me show you a picture of, these are your kids.
Yeah.
So ano ang ano no, how is Salve Duplito bilang isang ina? Ano ngayon?
Wow. Mahirap sagutin yan. Dapat sila tinanong mo. I am very close to each one of my kids. I have a separate relationship with the eldest, who is Alex, a girl,
Ito.
and
Yeah.
Seth, my second child, the dancer, Ethan, my third child, is the reader and the musician, and Blue, my youngest child, who's probably going to be a politician, I'm not sure, or a speaker or a lawyer, I don't know. So I have a separate relationship with each one of them. I take time to make sure that I know what they want to be in life, their dreams. I love feeding them. And
No.
most of all, I love being makulit with them. So much so that at one point, somebody, I don't remember who, somebody asked my second child, what can you say of Nanay? And then he looked at me and then he smiled a big smile and he said, she's crazy. Yeah, I like being funny and crazy with them.
Pero how do you balance your time? I mean, you're so busy, Salve. I mean, every moment. Sabi nga ng ni Carl Balita, blending. How do you blend your time? Because this is really something like of a challenge to a lot of mommies.
Yeah.
Paano mo yung biniblend ang oras mo?
It's a daily struggle. I remember the first day when I had to do my first day in a full-time job and I had a little baby girl. Siguro yung iyak ng bata pag alis ko ng bahay, mas maiksi kesa sa iyak ko mismo. I arrived in the office still crying because it was very difficult to leave your baby girl when you have to work. So from then on, I found a way to work from home. Ito Boots, ngayon pa lang nauuso yung work from home.
Yes,
Ako,
yes.
goal ko na yan, year 2000 pa lang. So 20 years ago, ang sabi ko sa sarili ko, I will only accept work if it allows me to work from home. Because it's difficult Boots, to balance when you're working in the office.
Mhm.
Pero it's also challenging when you're working from home. Kasi yung push and pull ng lahat ng kailangan gawin, minsan sabay-sabay. So my philosophy lang, to answer your question, my philosophy lang is, what is the most important thing to me?
Mhm.
It's still my children. Somebody else can be a financial advisor. Somebody else can be hired to do the showing on the money, but nobody can be a child to money. Nobody can be a mom to my children. So they're still the priority. At one point, Nabuts, I was going to meet with, I don't know if you know NEDA Director General Shelito Habito. We had a
Yes.
meeting. We had a meeting in Ortigas. And before I left the house, the goldfish died.
Oh.
So my second child
Oh.
was weeping. I mean, my third child was weeping. I couldn't leave the house. So I would be late. Ito yung example ng balancing, the
Yes.
difficult act of balancing for moms. So, and this is the biggest lesson of all. you prioritize what's the most important. You let other things fall,
Mhm.
and everything will be fine. So in the end, I stayed because I couldn't leave my child. Umiiyak. Tapos I put the goldfish in a matchbox. Nagkaroon kami ng burial ceremony.
Mhm.
So I texted the cabinet secretary. Sabi ko, sir, pasensya na. Namatay yung goldfish na yung last. And you know what he said? It's
Uh,
totally fine. I understand. I
yeah.
have children also. He waited for more than an hour so that I can comfort the child. So in the last 20 years of working from home, this strategy really helped me. I will let go of anything, even if it means I make money from it,
Mm.
if my children need me. Now, if it's not an emergency situation and they'll be fine, I talk to them. I don't leave them. I just talk to them. I really need to do this. Is this okay? When they say yes, then I leave. Or then I work. And alam mo, because they're like, because of that, I think, they haven't been very, very demanding. So at times, they will tell me na, nanay, I can do this on my own because you need to work. And because you need monies, si Blue will say, you need monies to buy my stuff. So go work.
Oh.
Ganon.
But you know, I remembered you posted something like about your kid asking about what is voluntary work. And you said,
Yeah.
ano sabi
Self-employment.
mo? Meron ka sinabi, ang ganda eh. Meron siya sinabi. Ano sinabi niyo mo na it's like voluntary work? Oo.
Volunteer work is working without pay. And
Yeah.
then he said, oh, do you mean to say you're self-employed?
Oh, very very smart, huh? Very smart. But you know, I'm showing now the picture of the Salve before and now the Salve who has transformed. Salve, paano ka
Yes, because
ano
versus the
ano si
salve before, I learned to put makeup on.
Oo, ano naging sekreto mo? Parang ang laki ng pagbabago. Siguro yung mga klase mo sa Bicol, sabihin niyan, ikaw ba yan?
Ah, no, because growing up, I didn't know how to fix myself. I'm not, eto, confession hindi ako mahilig mag-ayos, hindi ako mahilig mag-makeup, hindi ako marunong mag-makeup. In the beginning of my career in ANC, I was so badul. As in, nakakaawa talaga ako kasi I didn't know what clothes to wear and you know how important that is in a
Mhm.
TV show, diba? So it took me some time to really get used to it, to understand how to put colors together, what kind of style to use, and until now, I still don't know how to clothe myself. I think it's just that. It's just the skill that I tried to learn. I can't say whether I've learned it enough. It's still
Mhm.
a struggle to be, to be ready, to be camera ready. I'm trying my best. So, baka yun lang naman.
No, but a lot of people would say ibang-ibang aura ni Salve. Para bang when they see you, you're such like ang dami mong positivism, no? Para bang you're like a proton person na para bang people don't see you na hindi ka nakasimangot na or malungkot. Eto ba part of your transformation aside from your physical and you also psych yourself how you look and how you see people or how you see things? Ganun ba yun?
I would like to think I've always been bumisnes. So, even as a little girl, because my mom was, di ba, she loves to laugh. She's giggly. So, parang na-absorb ko yun sa kanya. Na whatever happens out there in the world, whether the world is dark, you just bring your own sunshine. It makes me feel more of a contributor to the world. Of course, there are times when hindi ko kaya yun. When I have problems or I go through some rough patches in life,
Mm.
I can't say that I'm always 24 by 7 positive, but I tried my best. And it's really who I am inside. So siguro, the transformation lang is use of makeup and better clothes. Baka yun lang ang difference. Pero who I am inside is really me.
But you know, you're one person. I always see you love traveling, and there was one instance where you were in Europe and you met this old lady and it is such
Yeah.
an emotional,
Clara.
alam mo, very emotional yon. Saan sa Europe yon?
That was in Dorna, in Switzerland. It's a small, very small town around 20 minutes from Basel. Clara is an old lady I met while I was walking and taking pictures. Nakita ko lang siya sa doorway ng bahay niya and then
Mhm.
lalagpasan ko siya. And then I said, why don't I talk to her? So I came back and then I talked to her. And she said, no, come here. I want to talk. I felt like Hansel and Gretel or
Yeah, yeah,
alam mo
yeah.
yan, because she was like, but she was very sweet and very kind and very positive. And
Yes.
surprise of all surprises, she's been to the Philippines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Imagine
So
you're
when we were talking to each other, and that was a difficult time for me, huh? Because last year there were so many things happening in the Philippines that you think the Philippines is a country that you can't be proud of. And then I meet this woman out of nowhere, and then she told me, "Oh, you're from the Manila. You're from Manila. That's a country that I would love to go back to because there's always sunshine there." And so, parang it's like the universe telling me, girl, siya nga gustong umuwi sa bayan mo.
Oo,
Ikaw,
totoo.
dapat mahalin mo rin yung bayan mo. So, sometimes the universe speaks to you this way, di ba?
Exactly. Some people,
Inspirational din.
indirectly telling you, look, foreigner ito, makipagpalit kaya
Yeah.
kayo, di ba? Para bang you're losing some opportunity. Eto
Sabi niya
naman,
pa, Boots, sabi niya pa, I've been to Iloilo. Ganon siya.
so ang galing, no? I guess, it makes us proud, no? That people say, ay, ang galing, people, ano. How do you spend your time now with your kids? You feel like you're always going out and with this COVID ngayon, paano na ngayon? Paano na ngayon ang buhay ni Salve with all these four kids? And
Actually,
you have a daughter.
yes.
How old is she now?
Yeah. Actually, I have more time for them now because everybody's home. All my kids are under house arrest. Even my even my eldest child, although she has work, I said, no, you can't go to work.
Oh,
You can't go to work because she's a freelancer, so she really can't say no. So I said no shoot, no filming this year until the vaccine is out. So because she's here all the time, my son's here, all my children are here at home all the time. We have more time together.
so yon, yun ang nangyayari ngayon na I
Yes.
think that I think that's something else, no? With this COVID, a lot of things have happened, but more on the positive side, you're able to bond with your children. You're able to
Yes.
discover things. O ano man na na-discover mo ngayon now that you're in work from home for so many years, and now that you're part and this COVID, what has Salvi now discovered in herself?
Wow, that's a very tough question. Well, I rediscovered my being bookish. So every day, I wake up at 3:30 to 4 in the morning, and I read three books all at the same time, one chapter each book. The first book will be a finance book. The second is a management or something about the philosophy of the world or whatever. It's So the first two books are for my career,
Mm-hmm.
and the last book, the third one, it's a fiction book because I super duper love fantasy. So from 4 to 8 in the morning, I start reading. I read newspaper from the first page to the end. I read the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Barron's, and what's my in my reading list pa? Hmm, there. I think that's it. The Economist. So I
Wow.
read all of that for 4 hours every day, Saturdays and Sundays included. So to your question, what have I discovered about myself? I discovered because of my readings that I really am a dreamer
Mm-hmm.
and I really want change.
Mm.
And that change in the world today should serve the least of all of us.
True. True.
The rest of the world can take care of themselves, but they deserve, and it is our responsibility to
Mm.
take care of those who can't take care of themselves. So of course, this means that those people who can take care of themselves pero tinatamad lang, they have to fend for themselves. Our resources, the world's resources, should be used intelligently to take care of the least of us. Otherwise, we won't survive. Any crisis or this crisis, we will not survive.
Oh, so what is this picture that I'm showing now? Para bang you're all happy moments with your is this your kids pa, no?
That's my second child. It was his first public speaking engagement. I brought him with me to Palawan. He talked and danced on stage about his mental. He has depression,
Oo.
and he has what is called a focal epilepsy, and
Uh-huh.
that has caused a lot of mental problems. And he bravely faced people he did not know, just so that he can sort of tell people how to deal with those kinds of problems. So it was a happy moment.
Wow,
The
he
other picture naman is when
Oo.
he danced. So every year he dances on stage during the summer, and that's his recital.
So parang merong mga a lot of your children are following your footsteps in some way or another, like talking, dancing, you know. Oy, may challenge si Mon Abrea. Alam mo na ba 'yon?
Magti-TikTok. Sabihin mo sa
Oo.
kanya siya na lang.
Alam ko, dinala ka raw minsan sa meeting magti-TikTok, nagulat daw si Salve. No, but I'm really glad, no, you have this time for your kids, and then your kids are now the ones talking and sharing about themselves, di ba? So, nakakatuwa naman 'yon, no? So,
Yeah.
eto ngayon, yan. Ngayon, as a career ni Salve, paano na ngayon? And how did you ever become a teacher or on financial literacy? Paano yun?
Anong simula, Butch? Financial journalist. As a financial journalist, I saw the time when nobody else knew about financial literacy.
Mm.
So, walang nagsasalita sa TV, walang nagsusulat sa print tungkol sa financial literacy. So, ngayon, ako, dahil nagpo-follow ako ng markets, one of my job is to write about what the market does every day. So, peso dollar market, I write about the financial industry. And napapansin ko na a lot of the Filipinos lumalabas ng Pilipinas. Kasi
Mm.
iniisip nila na they're higher income overseas.
Mm.
Alright? Will fix their financial problems here. Pero alam na natin na hindi, di ba? Alam na natin na ang pera, hindi yun yung solusyon kung hindi mo alam kung paano hawakan yung pera. Sometimes, it's really not the answer to problems. So, naisip ko noon, sabi ko, paano na lang kaya yung mga Pilipino, labas ng labas ng bansa.
Totoo.
Tapos pagdating doon, imbis na lumiit yung problema nila sa pera, lalong lumaki. At that time, Susie Orman was just starting her career in the US. So I got addicted to personal finance content. Ang mukha ko, Boots, laging nakadikit sa Bloomberg terminal. Ganon.
Okay.
Talagang yung market, ganyan. Pero you can make money here, pero the poor doesn't because they don't understand it. And then I said, one of the things that will transform this country, of course, we're still dependent on macroeconomic policy. Those things we can't control. But our own economics, we can control that. So I thought there must be more hope in transforming personal economics than macroeconomics kasi yun, bahala na yung mga cabinet secretary. So you know what I did? I was this young reporter. I wrote a memo to the publisher of Business World and said, can you give me one page in the newspaper? I will fill it up. You don't have to give me a budget. Pupunuin ko ng personal finance content. So, my boss agreed that Sheila Samonte Pesaico, she was the banking and finance editor at that time. She said, okay, sige, kung kaya mo yan, sige, gawin natin. So, every Monday, nagkaroon ng isang page, isang malaking page sa Business World ang nakalagay dun sa top, personal finance.
Wow!
So, dahil doon yan, naghanap na ako ng mga experts, wala akong budget, Coach.
Yeah.
Alam mo naman kung gaano kahirap yung kahirap magpatakbo ng isang operasyon ng kahit isang sikong dulit wala ka, diba?
Sakto. Yeah,
So I called on a lot of the experts in the industry and I said, can you write for me for free?
Oh, okay.
And they did. So Omar Cruz, who eventually became the national treasurer of the Philippines,
Uh-huh.
wrote for free. Efren Cruz eventually wrote so many books on personal finance and is also now an acclaimed speaker and expert. Noli De Pala used to be the
Mm-mm.
treasury head of Union Bank. They all wrote for free.
But what did they
So
see? Oo, what did they
maraming
see in
naitutong
you?
puso for
What did they
financial
see in
literacy.
you that they joined? I mean, it's not that easy to pull people, no? Yung bang, sali ka dito, sali ka dito. You must have that word credibility. Ano yung, was that the thing that, kasi you started the whole ball game, di ba? And then people are saying, may matututunan kaya yung mga ibang tao dyan, di ba? Lalo na financial literacy. So, was it easy a travel path on your journey, writing
It
all
was
this thing?
it was difficult. It was very difficult because it was additional work.
Yeah.
Alam mo, ito ba yung mga millennial ngayon, di ba? Ayaw
Mm-mm.
gumawa ng trabaho if you don't get paid for it.
It's true.
I say, if you really want to do something, do it even if you don't get paid. It's like going to school without paying tuition, in fact. Ikaw, naghahanap ka ng sweldo. Ito, opportunity mo to learn without paying tuition.
It's true.
But so long as something will allow you to become a better version of yourself, why not do it for free in the first few years?
True.
Diba? It will give you experience, it will give you network,
Mm-mm.
and then it will allow you to tap that portion of yourself that's undeveloped.
Yeah. I mean, if you're even volunteering to work, like even an assistant, but as you're listening to all these guests, di ba? Para bang, wow, you're in touch more
Yeah,
than what the school can offer you. It's beyond the books, di ba? Para,
exactly. But
oo,
you have to have a certain mindset to be successful at it.
totoo
Because
yun.
every move, every step, everything that's happening, you should consider that as the lesson of the day. If
True.
you're just living through it, as in hinahanap mo lang yung end, wala ka matututunan.
Totoo yun.
Pero if you're absorbing everything like a sponge, a lot of people will pay for that experience. Here, you're getting that experience for free. Diba?
True, true.
So, sorry, it was additional job for me. I didn't get extra pay for that additional responsibility.
Mm.
But I think it goes without saying that I really benefited from all that experience. Oh,
Yeah. But Salve, you have one memorable picture here called The Last Supper with late Jesse Robredo. How was it? Ano yung nakita mo kay late Mayor Jesse Robredo? That kind of man where everybody started to talk about him. Ano, you had that, you were working, you were, talking to him. Ano, what kind of experiences can you remember about him?
Jesse Robredo, I was already a fan of him before I worked for him. Kasi I already wrote for a magazine. So they flew me from Manila to Naga just to interview him for several days. And then after a couple of years, I got the opportunity to become his communications consultant, taking care of his personal, his
Mm.
public speeches.
Mm.
So even in creation of communications planning, creation of a communications plan, and taking care of the strategy, it was something that I did not think will end up on my plate. It was a beautiful, beautiful, unexpected surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to meet the other people in that photo. We call ourselves, well, Tita Lenny, the vice president, calls us Jesse's Angels. Yeah, so
Okay.
this was taken the night before he passed away.
It was shocking.
That Yeah,
What was it
the
really?
night before he passed away, we
Oh.
had dinner
Uh-huh.
until 10. And I know I've said this story, I've told this story so many times. We had dinner, and then at 10 o'clock, he said, aalis na siya, uwi na daw siya. He really sleeps early eh. So
Mm-hmm.
10 o'clock sabi niya, oh, okay, sige, alis na ako. Sabi ko, maaga pa, sabi niya, manonood pa ako ng On the Money. Kasi ang On
Wow.
the Money noon, 10:30 ng gabi ang replay.
Aha.
10:30 to 11. And he lived nearby. Sabi ko, huwag na kayo sa manood nun. Sabi niya, no, baka may matutunan ako. And that was, wow, if you really think about it, one of his last words.
Some it was how did you feel about it when you learned the following day? Were you were in a state of shock, I'm sure.
I was. It wasn't something that was easy to accept. I was gardening, and then Joanne, the executive assistant, called me, my friend. She said, Salve, pumunta ka na ng Krami. Sabi ko, bakit? Parang that was 3 p.m. in the afternoon Saturday, August 20, I think, 20? Yeah, August 19th. 19th. It was 3 p.m. on that day, and then she said, go to Krami. And then I said, what happened? What happened? Sabi niya, turn on your TV. So when I turned the TV on, it was right there. The plane crashed already, and he hasn't been found.
Mm-hmm.
So while it was raining, I was driving to Krame. I was already wondering of the things that we can do because we were so far away. So our little team converged in the White House in Krame with the PNP, the chief PNP there. And I cried a lot. It was a very difficult time. The very difficult time was when they asked me to write a statement that will assume he was already dead.
Oh my God. And that you were
So
just
yeah,
assuming
it was
there.
hard.
Oh.
I could sense how hard it was for them also to ask me. They said, we're sorry, but we have to ask you to do this. And they're all my friends. We're super duper close. The chief of staff and everything. She was touching my hair like this and said, I am so sorry to ask this of you. But you have to assume that he's passed away. And you have to prepare um, the legacy that he has left behind. And
Mm.
you have to write that all in. And the night went by like a haze. I cannot recall exact moments of it because it was hard. After that, I didn't see my family for quite a while because we moved to my friend's house. We kept on writing. We kept on collecting data. We kept on collecting everything that we needed. And then we flew to Naga. And
Mm.
then I had to write the eulogy for Tita Lenny, which was televised all over the country. And I saw my family maybe 10 days after.
But you were that composed. I mean, for you to write that eulogy, for you to write those statements. I mean, you were that. Bilib ako sa'yo. Paano ka naging composed doon? Kasi I'm sure emotionally you were all drowning, right?
Hindi ako composed.
Parang
Hindi ako
paano
composed. Natatawa
nakapagsulat?
lang ako sa sarili ko how I did that. It took me a long time to finish the speech. As in, magsisimula ako magsulat and then iiyak ako and then hindi ko na siya matatapos. Finally, Tita Lenny was texting me, Salve, padating na si Pinoy sa Naga. Pwede ko na bang makita yung speech ko? Nagpapanik na ako. So, I was panicked and the only time those words flooded into my mind was when I was in the middle of a mass in the lobby of Naga City. So, nandun ako sa City Hall, ang dami-daming mga tao, nagsusulat ako, nagmimisa. So, nung kinukwento ko yun kay Tita Lenny, sabi niya, no wonder. Kasi, bahay, halos second home yun ni Sec Jess, diba?
Hmm.
Naga City Hall was his happy place. And attending Mass was for him one of the most sacred things on earth. So no wonder that was when I really got the inspiration to write this speech.
Mm-hmm. And now you're also helping the vice president, Salve. You're continuing the legacy, the Robredo legacy.
Well, officially, I left the OBP in January 30.
Uh-huh.
But I think all of those who have served in whatever capacity, both the Guy Robredo, Sec Jessie, and Tita Lenny, VP Lenny, you never get them out of your system because it will be a lifetime of service. And it's a service that, I don't have to get paid or I don't need a title in the OVP to serve her and the country. So I will still always be around.
Mhm. But in your career, Salve, you are rubbing elbows with a lot of people. You know, like President
Like
ex.
you?
Hindi naman ako. Like President Fidel Ramos. How does it feel to be now from a small town in Bicol, now a lady rubbing elbows with a lot of VPs? How does it feel? Para bang, pag sinabing Salve Duplito, she's the one from ANC on the money. You're always identified there, no? So how does it feel? I mean, ano mga characteristics na nakikita mo when you meet with these people and you talk to them and even interview, no? Kasi like the other day I was watching you, you were interviewing a fellow Bicolano, si Rolly Brucales, of the Hook, an OFW in Abu Dhabi, right? So ano mga nakikita mong essential things na that make a character of these people, whether they are government or whether they're entrepreneurs, what are the points that you now see?
I think I'd answer your question this way. What are the things that I see that inspires me? Because I see
Mm-hmm.
also a lot of negative things. Things that turn me off, things
Yeah.
that make me sad, things that infuriate me sometimes with many of the big people out there. There are many good people, but there are more people who are at the top that shouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a reality, which means that those people who serve, who prioritize others, who fulfill their roles as leaders, not for a sense of entitlement to perks, but because they really care. When I meet them and I see them and I understand and I get to know who they are, all the more that I wish to be like them. All the more that I wish there are more people like them. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what I really admire. Those people who are at the helm. Let's see. Let's whether they are presidents or CEOs of companies or president of the country or a senator or a congressman. I don't care whether you came from rich background. Some people get impressed with that. If you're
Mm-hmm.
born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
True.
Some people get impressed with the fact that they've never, that they have all the money to live beautifully. Like all the things you need is just at your beck and call. Some people get impressed with that. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
What impresses me, however, is how you use that money, how you use your God given brains, how you use your eloquence, and how you use your time in the under the heat of the sun, in the shadow of your fame.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you use that for the least of us.
True. But
Yun yung hinahanap ko, Boots, eh.
oo.
It's
But
not so much the looks. Kasi
ah,
syempre, minsan pag nakita ka ng pogi, diba? Lahat naman tayo pag nakakita ng maganda, nakakita ng pogi, ina-admire mo yun.
syempre,
But it's
human
it's it's
human
it's
nature,
really
but
the inner character.
yeah,
It's
it's
really
oh,
whether they live up to the greatest things that God has given them.
true.
Whether they live worthy.
You also had a close friendship with the late Gina Lopez. Ano ang mga that you can remember from this great lady?
I wouldn't say a close friendship.
Mm.
We both admired each other. I
Mm.
think so. There was one time where I spoke in ABS-CBN Foundation, and several times in several events that we were chatting with each other, and she just said, you should be on free TV. dapat nasa ano ka, ABS-CBN, gano'n. I think one of the things that I learned from her is, and that I really, really admire, is when she shows you her concern.
Mhm.
Yung concern niya for nature, for the environment, it's really a concern for who I call the least of us.
Mhm.
Because a lot of the poor people in the country depend on nature for their everyday needs. So yun yung translation ko sa kanya. Even in the way that she manages finances, tinanong niya ako about financial literacy, lagi niya akong tinatanong, how does that translate to the things that the everyday Filipino should do?
Mhm.
Kasi baka mamaya puro para sa meron ng pera, paano magkakaroon ng pera yung walang pera? Parang ganun. Sobrang nakaka-inspire yun.
So parang I mean, she's just human. I mean, she was just showing her concern, her love for country, her love for natural resources, and at the same time for the welfare of everybody, no? Yun ang isa sa mga nakita ko about this lady. Yun ang ganon. And you also had that opportunity where your show, paano nga pala nag-start itong show na ito? Itong On the Money. Paano nga ba talaga?
Ang on the money talaga, parang it was meant to mirror the Susie Orman show in the Philippines.
Mhm.
So the personal finance for the rest of us, for the everyday person, parang ganun. And si Jean Reyes, one of the Wonder Woman of ABS-CBN, she came from the States
Yes,
So when
yes.
she came back here, she understood that this kind of show is very important in the transformation of a nation. So
Mhm.
they conceptualized the show, and because feeling ko I was the only person who was speaking about financial literacy who is not attached to any financial institution. Hindi ako insurance agent, hindi
Mhm.
ako bankera, hindi ako ganon, media ako. So I can talk about financial literacy para sa tao, hindi para sa kumpanya.
You're not representing any interest except for the people.
Profit
Oo.
interest of any
True.
company at all.
True.
So my main concern is the person, the everyday person.
Mm-mm.
So they designed the show to play up those attributes. And so I've been with the show. Ako na lang yatang natitira eh. Kasi si Edric umalis na, si Melissa, si Lexi, yeah, I'm the only one in the show who
So,
survived from its very first day.
oo nga. Ilang years na ba yan? Ilang years na ang On the
8
Money?
years. And July is the 8th year.
Wow, the 8th year, the
The
magic.
anniversary of On
And
the
you
Money.
what did you win this time? That you were together with Isa, with Direct Goody. Ano yung napanalunan nyo dito?
I forgot the name of the award. We can provide that for you afterwards.
Oo.
So Gawad Tanglaw was the award that we got for several years. This is a new one, and it's very interesting because we were chosen by thousands and thousands of students in
Mhm.
this school. So, estudyante talaga yung pumili sa amin. Kaya I found that it was very prestigious and very, very real. Like, it's not because of mga profit motive award, di ba? Kundi totoo, kasi pinili kami ng mga estudyante. Thousands and thousands.
Mm. So now basically, well, with COVID and a lot of things are happening now, ano nga pwedeng ibigay mong tips? Kasi a lot of people are still saying, yung mga general public, ano ba yung financial literacy niya? Mag-ipon na lang sa isang kawayan, ihulog na lang yung coins, magtabi ng pera, wag gumastos. Ano yung mga pwede mong ibigay for the common people na for them to appreciate what lead ngayon kasi na-appreciate by force no? Napilitan.
Yes.
Kung baga wala kang huhugutin.
Napilitan kasi kung wala kang nasuksok, wala kang makukuha ngayon.
Exactly. So ngayon, para bang open na ba ang tao ngayon to understand? Kasi alam ko for the longest time, you have gone to abroad, overseas, Dubai, you've been talking about financial literacy. para bang tayo, we're all knocking and knocking until one day people are starting to realize, oo nga, no? So ngayon, ano-ano mga pwedeng like budgeting? Alam mo naman ngayon, Salve, maraming mga na-lay off, no? We are about what? 7 million as of April, and we're still growing more and more. Wag naman sana, but ano-ano pwede mong typical budget? Like for a mom, you know? For a mom, na paano pinagkakasya-kasya?
Oo, napakahirap ng pinagdadaanan ng mga kababayan natin ngayon. Nakita na namin yung National College of Science and Technology Dangal ng Bayan Awards.
Oh,
Yun
yun. Dangal
yung
ng
award
bayan.
na natanggap natin
Oo,
kanina sa
oo,
picture.
oo.
And together with that, we were with one of the Lopez's who accepted the award on behalf of GE.
Mm.
So, to your question, Boots, the very first concept that Filipinos want to be more financially independent. Yung bang tipong pagising mo ng umaga, hindi ka naman masyadong mayaman,
Yeah.
pero hindi ka natatakot na wala kang gagastusin. No? Wala kang gastusin. I mean, what? Wala ka. Probinsyano ko hindi tayo marunong mag-budget. Wala kang pang-budget.
Yes, yes.
Tingin ko ang unang-unang kailangan matutunan ng mga tao is the real cost of paying compounding interest.
Mm-hmm.
So, itong concept ng compounding is the sexiest thing on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, very few Filipinos understand what it is. Kahit na educated books, ang hirap nilang maintindihan kung ano yun. So, this concept of compounding, if you don't understand it, you pay it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you understand it, you earn from it.
True.
So the two sides of that coin is the first and second lesson of financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay compounding interest on your loans, and that is true with 5-6, that is true with pawn shops, some pawn shops, that is true with Sangla ATM, and all the other most common and most accessible ways of raising cash for the general population, you'll never get rich.
Mm-hmm.
Kahit
True.
anong ipon mo, kahit na anong invest mo. Why is that? Because no amount of return that you can get from any investment or any business will equal or be greater than the interest that you pay from your loans.
True.
I know there are many businessmen, for example, dahil gusto nilang mabilisan, kakapit, di ba?
Mm.
Kakapit ka sa kahit 5-6 pa yan eh. Hindi lang naman mahihirap po sa humihiram sa 5-6 eh.
Mm.
You and I know that. Even the rich borrow from them because it's fast. Especially if they know these people who are lending. But remember this, the returns that you get are not guaranteed. But the compounding interest, okay, the compounding interest, you have to pay that. Whatever happens to your business, okay, whatever happens in your future, that's guaranteed amount that you have to pay. But your returns are not guaranteed. So there you see in the finance spaces, there's a mismatch already in funding.
Mm.
But few people realize, kasi lalo na sa mahihirap goods, ang iniisip lang nila, okay, kung magpa 5-6 ako, 200 per day lang naman yun.
Lang.
Or 1,000 per day. Ang tinitingnan nila, magkano yung babayaran.
Correct.
Ang hindi nila nakikita that over time, yung 10,000 na hiniram mo from 5-6, ang babayaran mo nun, 50,000.
Mm.
Diba? Kung rollover ka lang ng rollover, nag-multiply by 5 times yung utang mo. So, paano ka kikita doon? Kahit na inegosyo mo yan, lugi ka talaga. So, that's the first thing. I remember, in this COVID kasi, maraming taong mangungutang.
Dami.
Hindi na natin sila i-judge. Kasi kabuhayan yan eh. Kailangan mabuhay. Alangan namang hindi kumain, lalo na kung may nagkasakit.
Mm.
Okay? Marami sa mga Pilipino ang mangungutang. Ang importante dito, mangutang ka intelligently. Dapat marunong kang tumingin kung ano yung totoong interest na babayaran. Kung may hidden charges ka yan. Ito yung unang message natin. Umutang kayo sa tamang sa tamang establishmento. So, this is where financial inclusion is critical. Yung tinatrabaho natin with the government, na sana mas maraming tao ang may bank,
True.
na sana maraming tao ang nag-access ng formal financial system where the interest rates are not so bad.
Pero
Compared with the
bakit sila kumakapit sa patalim? Is it because of the bureaucracy? Is it because ang tagal humiram through this formal institution? Nandyan si Bombay, di ba? Madaling kumapit.
Wala pang collateral.
Walang collateral, basta kailangan mo ng pera. Halimbawa, wag naman sana, pambili ng gamot ng anak. Minsan sasangla na lang. Like yung mga OFWs, di ba? May hepatitis siya pagdating dito kasi nagyayelo yung mga leeg nila, di ba? Yung mga kwintas. Pero pagbalik, sigurado nakasangla na yon, di ba?
Yes.
Oo. Alam mo, sabi nga ng ating kaibigan si Chief Tuan, hoy, hello mga idols daw. Sabi ni Chit, save lang ng save. But it's hard for entrepreneurs who always want to invest on a new business. Di ba? Para bang, ay magsasimula ako ng negosyo, ayoko, hindi pa. Kasi takot ako ngayon dahil COVID, di ba? So, yun yung ano doon. Oy, meron mga nagre-request dito. Ano raw favorite na ulam mo? Parang ang layo naman ng question dito. Bakit daw ano raw yung favorite ulam mo? Nalayo tayo dito sa usapan natin dito. Ano raw favorite ulam ni Salve?
Nagtatawanan ako ng mga anak ko niyan kasi pag nagda-diet ako, dapat di ako kakain ng kanin. Pero kung adobo yan, pag adobo yan, hindi talaga ako mapipigilan.
Ayan, alam nyo na ha, pag adobo raw, naku dapat pala bigyan kita ng isang adobo flavored rice. Nako, sigurado. Wow, yan ang hindi totoo talaga. Yan ang magiging totoo talaga. So, now, ang nangyayari ngayon okay. So, final word, Salve, how do you now see for us Filipinos to become sound and really sana naman meron na talagang huhugutin na pera at hindi na talaga manghihiram ng manghihiram. Ano ang pwedeng like for example, kung OFW ang kapatid at nandito yung mga kapatid naman, ano ang pwedeng advice sa isang OFW na meron siyang konting pera, gusto niyang ilagay at para pagulungin, sabi nga ng iba, ano mga practical advice na pwede mong gawin?
I think the first thing na dapat maintindihan ng mga overseas Filipino workers is you are not what you owe.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you, kaya kayo lumipad, kaya kayo pumunta sa ibang bansa. Kasi feeling nyo hindi kayo enough kung kulang ang kita. Kung hindi nyo mabibili yung mga kailangan ng pamilya nyo, you feel like you're not good enough. Diba? Pero ang problema nun, pag lumipat kayo sa ibang bansa, minimeasure nyo yung worth nyo sa inyong pamilya base doon sa pera na pinapabalik. Or sa laki ng box na pinapabalik.
Balikbayan box.
Sa presyo ng mga pasalubong na dala na. Diba? Parang ganun ba tayo i-weigh ng mga mahal natin sa buhay? I am sure our loved ones don't do that. And if they do, you have to tell this to yourself. You are not what you owe. You are not what you have in your bank account. You are much more than that. And so when we realize that, we understand na hindi natin pwedeng i-define yung sarili natin dun sa presyo ng bag na meron tayo. Sa ganda ng sapatos na suot natin. Sa bit-bit nating pasalubong, hindi tayo ma-define. Because really, who you are is so much worth, so much more than the stars in the heaven. Lagi ko itong sinasabi. Yung bituin sa langit, ginawa yan ng Diyos para sa iyo.
Totoo yun.
You are worth everything this world has to offer. So pag minamaliit mo yung contribution mo, dun tayo na lululong. Dun sa consumerism na tinatawag. Kailangan magpa-party ka pag umuwi ka. Kahit na utangin mo yan, magpapapiesta ka. Diba?
Totoo yun.
Tigilan na natin yun.
I think also,
you should know your own value.
It's also keeping up with the Joneses, no? I think Nagpagawa yung isang kapitbahay, papagawa rin ako dito. Hindi ba? Yung bang, kung ano kaya mo. I think what this COVID has taught us is to go back to the essential of the essentials. Hindi ba? Yung bang, di mo naman pala kailangan pumunta ng mall parati. Ngayon, ilang buwan na tayong wala sa mall. Hindi ba? O, hindi mo
That's,
naman pala kailangan ng ganito. In fact, in Iloilo, I'm so surprised because they have this barter trading now. What you don't need,
yeah.
exchange it. Di ba? Hindi pera. Hindi? So,
Alam mo ba na yung mga kababaihan, hulaan mo kung ilang shade ng lipstick meron sila.
hindi ko alam yan. Ilan?
Bawat babae, more than one shade ng lipstick yan. Eh ngayon, laging nakamask. So, wala. Diba?
Kami naman mga lalaki, hulaan mo nyo ngayon. Ilan ang shorts namin? Kasi ubos na ho yung shorts. Dahil dati nakapantalon ho kami ngayon. Ngayon naka-shorts. Di ba? Yung bang, para bang, with all these things. Again, Salve, I won't take much of your time. Really, I am so honored. Ngayon, pag tinanong sa akin, sino si Salve? Si Salve ay isang down-to-earth na tao who really grew from that, you were able to taste that poverty, and you love so much your mom, your attachment to your mom, and you love so much your kids that you're willing to let go, and just for the kids. Namatay ang goldfish. Ayos lang. Maghintay ho kayo dyan, NEDA Secretary. Parang ganon.
It all works out. It all works out in the end. As
Mm.
long as money is not your end goal,
Yeah.
in the end, money will come to you.
Totoo
Just
yun.
focus on the more important things in life.
And what I always loved you doing is that you provide a morning inspiration like an espresso coffee that says, Salve says. Is that your own? Do you do that? Or you concoct something? You're like a chef doing some sayings? So, when are we looking forward to your YouTube? Nako, ayan ha, marami nakikinig. Ay nako, ang dami. May nagtatanong.
Sige, pwede ba kayo mag-comment din?
Oh,
Kung gusto
mag-comment
niyo
daw.
ako mag-YouTube channel, can you comment below?
Oo, mag-comment daw kayo if you want Salve to do the YouTube or to do the TikTok.
Nahihirapan ako. Alam mo, I'll really confess, it's not easy. Iniisip ng mga tao kasi nasa ANC ako, madali lang mag-YouTube. But YouTube is a different beast.
It is.
Iba siya. Ako, natatakot ako sa kanya. Pero I'm going to try. After Marvin Hermo's interview on YouTube, so many texted me and told me na, simula ka na ng YouTube, manonood kami. Siguro, kakayanin ko dahil sa inyo.
Oh, kita mo si Marvin nga eh. O ilan yung followers ni Marvin eh. Tops ano yan. At saka si Randall.
Kagana
Nako.
channel eh.
Oo, grabe no. Alam mo, may pakapalan talaga lang ng mukha ano. Talaga.
Kakakapalan ba ng mukha? Pahirap na ako. Kakakapalan natin yung mukha mo.
Again, Salve, I like you to continue what you're doing. I'm so proud of what you're doing, and I think you're making a big edge. You're inspiring a lot of people, really, especially our OFWs who need your help, and especially money. And also, mommies. I'm sure a lot of mommies. Kaya sabi ko nga sa iyo, on the mommy, magsimula ka na ng show eh. Di ba? How to be a mommy.
Thank you so much.
Again,
it's a wonderful opportunity. Maraming salamat. Thank you for having
yes.
me. Please don't forget to follow my social media accounts. Pwede if you want. So I do what you said, it's my morning meditation.
True.
So every morning I share a Salves quote to share whatever I have learned in my field of expertise, or either that or a quote from the books that I read. Share that the hashtag is Learn With Me.
Have you ever written a book, Salve?
So yeah, so we have an IG account, Salve Duplito or Salves. Yung Salve Duplito po kasi may mga kasamang ANC quotes yon. Yung Salves, puro Salves lang talaga ang laman niya. And then I have a Twitter account. You can also tweet me there if you have questions. And I also have a Facebook account, so maybe you can follow that. You can just look for Salve Duplito. And we do have a YouTube channel already. It's at Salves.
Wow. And finally, a book. What about a book of Salve?
Soon, very soon. Pagka natapos ko na yung libro, but sana pwede ako sana pwede ako mag-guest ulit sa show mo.
You're always more than welcome. In fact, I had second thoughts whether Miss Salve will give me a chance to interview her for my BUK. Kasi sabi ko, baka,
Ikaw naman.
baka kasi mga high, ano lang yan, mga high officials eh. So sabi ko, bahala na, let's take a chance. Aba, sumagot.
Di naman.
Sumagot,
Ikaw naman. That's one more
sumagot.
thing that I want to share before we end the show.
Mm.
Really is that, sabi mo kanina, you always see me talking to celebrities or big people. Para sa akin, Boots, ang big people yung tinatawag ng mundo na maliit na tao.
Yes.
That's why, sa akin ng celebrity, I get as excited to talk to manininda dyan sa kanto. I get as excited to talk to her as with FDR. Or
True.
some other person na kilala na papanood sa TV. Kasi bawat tao merong kwento.
True.
At bawat kwento meron kang matutunan. No,
Well,
the experts really at some point we were together Rao, and my assistant Rao started talking to yung nagtitinda ng balut. You know, I learned from her. In that event where she talked to me about her life, I learned from her. So, celebrity, yung pinaka-celebrity yung mga taong gusto natin makausap sa mga kanto.
True. At saka yung ginagawa mo ninyong Entrep Lab, natutuwa ako
Yeah.
kasi, my
Thank
gosh.
you for guesting there.
Oo, nanginginig yung mga entrepreneurs. Ewan ko sabi ko, ba't kayo nanginginig? Para itong American show. Nanginginig. Yung iba nauutal, ilang take, no? So, but again, it's
Okay
really,
lang yun. Ako din naman nauutal.
oo nga, ilang beses ka nagtitake sa show eh. Nare-realize ko si Director
Yan ang
Goody,
katotohanan dyan.
panay kamot ng ulo eh, no? Ganon. Anyway, good, Salve, thank you very much. You are really a salvation to a lot of people. And I will always
Maraming
keep on praying for you and your family. Thank you very much for gracing my
Thank you
show.
for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Ay, hindi ko na na-play yun.